You won't do the trade?
No, I want a top 5. I want a top 5 pick in this draft. I'm gutting this roster as much as I can.
I'm glad I asked. He won't do the trade.
Why make a
what
trade?
What top 5 pick? What are you talking about? What top 5 pick is what?
Why make a trade for Omar Ashik when you can gut the roster and go for a top 5 pick and get a much
what
better?
What top 5 pick are you talking about? Do those grow on trees now?
Well, yes, they grow on trees based on your record.
Oh, the Celtics are not going to finish with one of the 5 worst records in the NBA.
The Celtics should finish with one of the 6 worst records in the NBA.
That's
the best long-term approach for the team.
At this rate,
it's not possible.
Oh, sure they can. They're 12 and 14.
You're
they're 12 and 15, but still 12 and 15. They can go to tailspin very quickly. So yeah, face rubbing time.
Get off my face.
Take 2. I'm doing that
touch
one.
My face.
So the Celtics, as of recording, with Utah up by 10 with a couple minutes left.
Scoreboard watching. Oh,
they are tied for the 4th worst record in all of basketball.
They will be tied for the 4th worst record if the Jazz win. Yeah, okay, whatever.
Okay. So I was right. I'm not excited about being right. Nobody wants to see it. Nobody wants to cover a team that's lost 9 straight. But they're in a state of flux right now where what was working before is not working now. Jared Sullinger is completely inconsistent. Jeff Green is... People want to trade Jeff Green now.
People always want to trade Jeff Green.
Commenters...
I'm not sure how much has
commenters
changed.
Want to trade Jeff Green right now.
What else is new?
And, I mean,
hi, commenters. How you
commenters
doing?
is all that matters, of course. Love you, commenters. But they're in real trouble. They don't have a coherent team in place right now. And nothing is really working to the point that Marshawn Brooks is getting 12 minutes in the 4th quarter.
When you put it that way, I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
All right, I just wrote about this, so I'll kind of elaborate on this show, too. If I told you at the beginning of the season the Celtics were going to lose 9 games in a row at some point,
which you did,
that would probably make sense, right?
Yes.
Because like a young rebuilding team, they're going to lose 9 straight at some point. And if you had to guess when that would happen, you'd think, well, a stretch when they're on the road a lot, playing a lot of good Western Conference teams, they're banged up, they're still without Rondo. Yeah, it makes sense this is going to happen. And in the scheme of a long season, you're going to have a stretch like this. It makes sense. I'm not that surprised by it. They've also had good stretches this season. They've had some bad ones, too. I think they're a little bit better than a 13-26 team in the long run. And they're going to bounce back. They're going to have some easy games in the schedule later this month. They're playing Orlando. They're playing the Lakers. They're going to get some wins here and there. They're going to bounce back from this. You can cherry-pick their lowest point of the season and say it looks bad right now. And that's all well and good.
Which is what I'm doing.
Which is what you're doing. Shamelessly, I might add.
Yeah.
I don't think they're quite
sarcastically.
Sarcastic, yeah, okay, whatever. I don't think they're quite this bad. It's been a really bad stretch, and, you know, Marshawn Brooks played a lot of minutes tonight and wasn't very good, and it really looks bad right now. I don't think they're the 5th worst team in the league. I think they have too many talented players, too many players that know what they're doing out there, and they do still have an all-star coming back in Rajon Rondo. So there's pieces here of a team that is respectable and not 13-26. I think things are going to get better. But, yeah, this was going to happen at some point this season, and now it's happening. And
I mean, there was a time where they were ahead of the Nets and the Knicks. You knew that was eventually going to trend towards the mean, where those teams are going to kind of get it together, get a little healthy. Of course, in the Nets lose Brook Lopez, yet somehow start winning, so go figure there.
Yeah.
But while the Celtics there's not a lot of teams that they're better than, they have the pieces in place, and they have the guy coming back that can make them competitive enough that they're not a bottom feeder, bottom 4, bottom 3 team. The question is, what type of roster moves happen, and do they stay healthy?
I'm talking about roster moves, but, like, their best players aren't going anywhere. I don't think they're going to trade Rondo. I don't think they're going to trade Avery Bradley, Jeff Green, or Jared Sullinger. As long as you got those...
Jeff Green's a maybe for me. It's not going to be easy to move him, but
yeah, I don't see a deal out there. I don't see a team that's dying to get Jeff Green for the stretch run. I just don't see that. I think the Celtics still have enough foundation pieces in place that they're going to be respectable, like, as in not bottom 5 in the league the rest of the way. I think they're better than Sacramento, who they're currently behind. I think they're better than Chicago, who's out Derrick Rose and Luol Deng and tanking now. I think they're better than a lot of teams that they're currently behind in the standings. I think that's going to show itself over the course of the season that they're better. Right now it looks bad. They have not won a game in 2014, so if Danny Ainge's resolution for the new year was to tank, then he's done quite well. Because this streak began New Year's Eve. They have not won since. That's ugly. But I do think the Celtics are better in the long run than this streak shows, and I think it'll work itself out in the long run.
Chicago is a good example of a team that, talent-wise, is pretty much depleted at this point. Yeah, they have Jimmy Butler, they have Joakim Noah.
And Noah's been kind of off all year. And, they have Butler.
Inconsistent.
Who's like their Avery Bradley. You know,
and
he's
Gibson's
a nice
really
guy,
good.
but you need more than that to be a winning team.
And a Boozer might be out of there pretty soon, whether he's amnestied or traded, whatever it is. So there are teams that can start to regress. and who knows what's going to happen. I mean, Sacramento was a team that you counted on to be fighting with the Celtics for that bottom, kind of like the bottom 8 spot, and then they acquire Rudy Gay.
We all know that losing Rudy Gay makes you better, not gaining Rudy Gay. So
well,
we know what's going to happen.
Toronto's going to get the #1 seed now, of course.
Of course.
But Sacramento is a little bit better now that they've added Gay as well. So
I don't buy it.
Okay. Well, part 3 coming up, boxing out, baller of the night. But first, we'll go behind enemy lines with Kevin McHale. This is the Gardner Report on Celtics Blog and CLNS Radio.
This team meaning us? Well, you know, we play great in stretches, but in the NBA, it's not about being able to play well for a quarter. You know, a lot of teams in the league can play well for a quarter, or 2 quarters. It's about playing well throughout the game. More than anything, finishing games well and stopping people from making big runs on you. So I think we just got to mature in that aspect, keep working, and it starts with practice tomorrow.